Hello everyone, welcome back to Dipi classes. So today we are going to solve the second assignment of chapter 9, that is functions. So I had given 9 output questions. So we'll be solving all these 9 questions one by one. So let us move to the first question. So this was your first question. So this question contains total 5 functions, DNN. Then we have P1, P2, P3 and P4. Okay, where DNN is nothing but the main function. So let us solve this question and find the output. So we'll first run this function. So in this function, first we are calling the function P1. But you can see this is empty, means this is called by no value. Okay, so we are calling whom? We are calling P1. So from here it will jump directly to the function P1, means here. It will jump directly to here. And what it will do? It will print. What it will print? With no. It will print with no. Okay. Now print is written. That means the next print will continue in that line. Okay. So after completing this function is over. So it will return back from where it was called. That is, it will return back to this position. Then it is written print /t. /t means horizontal tab. So it will give some tab. Okay. Tab is nothing but it is a group of spaces. It is generally a group of 4 or 8 spaces. It depends on your system. Just give few spaces. Okay. And here also print is written, means next time it will again continue in the same line. Next we are calling the function P2. So it will jump to the function P2, this one. And what we are doing there? We are printing power. It will print here. Okay, done. And here print ln is written, means the cursor will move down. It will come to the next line. The cursor will move to the next line. Then it will return back to P2 again. Then it will print /n. /n means new line. So it will print a new line here. So the cursor will move to the new line. Then print ln is there, means it will come to next line. Then it will call P3. This function, what we are printing? We are printing comes. And you can see print is there, means the cursor will remain there only. Okay. Then it will return back to P3. After completing, it will return back every time. Then it is printing 2 to 3 spaces. Print it. 1, 2, 3. Let there be 3 spaces. Okay. And here again print is written. That means it will stay there. The cursor will stay there. Then we are calling P4. We are calling the function P4. And we will print there darkness. And you can see print ln is there, means the cursor will come to the next line. The cursor will move to the next line. Then it will return back to P4, and now we are printing this emoji. And what is written? Print ln means the cursor will again move to the next line. End of the function. So after the end of the function, don't move to this function again, because this is the main function. Once the main function is over, the program is over. Okay. So understood how we got the answer? Now we'll run this program. We'll always run the main function. See, our answer is matching with no power, then 2 lines, then comes, space, darkness. Clear? Understood? Now we'll solve the second question. I have given 3 bits. Means you have to solve first by taking the value of A as 15 and B as 71. Second again A as 71 and B as 15. And third, both the values of A and B as 13. Okay. So let us solve the first bit by taking the value A as 15 and 71. Okay. So here the value of A is 15 and the value of B is 71. Okay. And we have the value of C as 0. So we have A 15, B is 71, and now we have C as 0. We are checking if the value of A is greater than B. So 15 greater than 71? No, false. Okay, fine. So this statement will not get executed because this is inside if. It is in the true block of if. If was false, so this statement will not get executed. Then again, there is another if statement. Here we are checking if A is greater than B or A is less than B. So A is greater than B, false. A less than B, true. It is OR. OR means false or true is true. So we'll execute this statement. So here what is written? We are calling the function JA and sending the value B and B. Okay. We can also send the same value 2 times. Doesn't matter. Okay. It doesn't matter. It is not compulsory that the value should be different or the variable should be different. If you want to send the same value 2 times or the same variable 2 times or more than 2 times, you can send it. There is no issue. So here we are calling JA and giving the function. So this is call by value. This is call by value. So we are calling JA. Where is JA? JA is here. And we are sending B and B. Both the arguments we are sending B. What is the value of B? 71. Means in the function JA, in the JA function, A will be 71. This A is 71 and the value of B is again 71 because we have sent 71 and 71 only. And now what you are doing? You are declaring the variable D as 0 and you are adding the value of A and B, that is 71 plus 71, which is 142, right? 71 plus 71 is 142. Then we are returning it. Well, this is call by value with return. Return D. So where it will get returned? We record here. So it will get returned and it will be stored in the variable C. So now the value of C is 142. And now we are calling the function print. Now we are calling the function print. Where is the function print? Here is the function print. And what we are sending? We are sending the value of C, that is 142. So in the variable print, what will be stored? 142 will be stored. Then what will be printed? So the answer is 142. Okay, so you will get the answer as 142. So let us run this program. So always run the main function. So we gave the values 15 and 17. See, we got the answer as 142, correct? Okay. Now if we take the value of A as 71 and B as 15, then let's see what will happen. So here A is 71 and B is 15. So here we'll check. 71 greater than 15? True. True means what it will do? It will call the function A or A, you can say double A. Okay, it will call the function AA and send the value of A and B. So in the variable C and D, the value of A and B will be stored. That is, the value of C will be 71 and D will be 15. Okay, and we are adding, means the answer will be 86. Right, we are adding, that means the answer will be 86 and we are returning back to the function DNM. So what will be stored in C? It will return here. We call the function here, right? So it will return back here only. And the value we are returning will be stored in the variable C. So what will be stored in C? 86 will be stored in C. Again we are checking. 71 greater than 15, true. 71 less than 15, false. True or false is true. So again we will call the function JA and send the value 15 and 15. So we'll call the function JA and here in the function JA, A will store 15 and B will also store 15. Then we'll add. So what will the value of D? It will be 30. 15 plus 15, 30. Then we'll return. Return means we'll return here. And in the variable C, what will get stored? 30 will get stored. First it was 86. When this function was executed, the value of C was 86. When this function was executed, we replaced the value 86 and now the new value is 30. So it will call the function print. The print will store the value 30. 30 will be stored in print now. and it will print. So the answer will be 30. So bit 1 is 142 and bit 2 is 30. Correct? Similarly, if you take 13 and 13, what will happen? This is an interesting question. A is 13, B is 13. 13 greater than 13? False. So this function will not get executed. 13 greater than 13? False. 13 less than 13? False. False or false is false. So again this will not get executed. It will call print function. So what will be stored in print? The value of C. What is the value of C? The value of C is 0 because both the function will not get executed. So the original value is 0 and still the value will remain 0. So it will print what? It will print the answer of third bit is 0. It will print 0. Clear? So answer of question number 2 is 142 for the first bit, 30 for the second bit and 0 for the last bit. So let us run this program again. Okay. We'll run the main function. We already checked the first one. Let us check the second one. 30 and the last one should be 0. Don't worry, we'll get 0 only. Correct? Understood? So this output question will help you understand how the function is working, how a function is calling another function, how the value is returned. Okay, so you will understand this concept. So you can also go through this video multiple times so that you understand how the function is working. Okay, now we'll solve the next question, question number 3. Here also we have 3 bit. Okay, now we'll solve bit number 1 by taking the value of A as 5, B as 10 and C as 15. A is 5, B is 10 and C is 15. Okay, so we have 3 variables with 3 value already taken. And now we are checking if the value of A and B is equal. So 5 equal to 10? False. Else if. This is a ladder program. Okay, this is a ladder, if else if ladder. This is in form of if else if ladder. Else if. So 5 equal to 15? No, false. False means it will execute the function ka. Okay, it will execute the function ka and it will call and send the value of A. What is the value of A? 5. Okay, so it will call the function ka and in the variable k, what will be stored? 5 will be stored. Then what you are printing? Scissors and k. The answer is scissor k. Why k? Why not the value of k? Because you can see we kept it in double quotes. So whatever we keep in double quotes, it will get printed. Okay, we are not printing this. Here k is not a variable. We are not printing the value of k, but we are printing k itself. Okay, so you have to be careful. These are tricky questions. There is high chance that people will make mistake here. They will print 5 here. But no, we will not print 5. We will print k. It is in double quotes. Okay, be careful. These types of questions, trick questions, will come in your board exam. Okay, you will think that you are correct, but actually you are wrong. Okay, you have to be very careful. The answer is scissors k. Then we will solve the second bit. In the second bit, the value of A is and B is same, that is 5 and C is 15. So 5, 5 and 15. So 5 equal to 5? Yes. So it will call the function en. And it will send the value of C. What is the value of C? 15. So what will print? It will print rock 15. It will print rock 15. Okay, rock and the value of 5. Okay, I here is a variable. Then it will return back and the function is over. So here the answer will be rock 15. Next for bit 3, we have the value 5, 15 and 5. 5, 15 and 5. So 5 equal to 15? False. Then else. 5 equal to 5? True. Means it will call the function na and send the value b, that is 15. It will send the value 15 to the function na. So in the variable j, it will store the value 15 and it will print paper 15. So answer of bit 1 is scissors k, bit 2 is rock 15 and bit 3 is paper 15. So now let us run this program. Okay. So we have 5, we have 10 and we have 15. We got scissors K, the first bit. Now let us solve the second bit. 5, 5 and 15. We got rock 15. Yeah. And next, the last one, that is 5, 15 and 5. And we got the answer as paper 15. Okay. Scissors K, rock 15 and paper 15. Clear? Understood? Now let us go to the next question. Question number 4. So in question number 4, we are using nested if in functions. Okay. So again we have 3 bits. So first let us solve the first bit by taking the value of A as 5, B as 10 and C as 10. We have the value A 5, B 10 and C is also 10. So we got the input. Now the variable D has the value space, a single character constant, that is space. And we are checking if A is greater than B. So 5 greater than 10, false. False means it will go to else block. So what it will do, it will call the function Anthony. Where is Anthony? Here is Anthony. Okay. So we are just calling, we are not sending any value. This is called by no value, but we are returning. So it is called by no value with return. Returning what? It is returning the single character constant C. So in the variable D, what will be stored? C will be stored. So now space was there, but now it has been replaced by capital C. Then it will print the letter is space D. What is D? That is C. So it will print the letter is C. Okay, understood? Now let us do for the second bit. In the second bit, we have the value of A, B and C as 10, 5 and 15. 10, we have 10, 5 and 15. So now we are checking, is 10 greater than 5? True. Then again we will check. Is 10 greater than 15? False. False means it will call Akbar. And the Akbar is returning B. So in this variable D, it will store what? It will store the value capital B. So this time the variable D has capital B. So what it will print this time? The letter is B. It will print the letter is B. In the third case, we have the value of ABC as 10, 5, 5. 10, 5 and 5. Okay, we have these 3 values 10, 5 and 5. So 10 greater than 5, true. 10 greater than 5, again true. 10 is greater than B value, that is 5, again true. So these are true. So this time it will call the function Amar. So Amar will return what? Capital A. So in this variable, what will be stored? Capital A will be stored. So what it will print? It will print the letter is capital A. Understood? So in the first case, it is the letter is C. In the second case, it is B. And in the third case, it is A. So now let us run this program. So first is 5, 10 and 10. So we got the letter is C. In the second one, we have 10, 5 and 15. The letter is B. And the last one, we have 10, 5 and 5. And the letter is A. Understood? Clear? Okay. So now let us go to the next question, that is question number 5. So question number 5 is a switch program. Okay. And here we have 5 bits total. Okay. In the first case, you have to take the value of X as A. Single character constant, capital A. Okay. So here the value of X is capital A. First bit, you have X equal to capital A. So switch case does what? It checks for equality. If the value of X is equal to either of the one case or not. So we have the value of X as A. Is A equal to A? And you have to check if it is capital or not. Yes. It is capital A equal to capital A. True. True means it will go inside the first case and it will call the function bar. And bar, what we are doing? We are printing baba baba. Okay. Then it will return back from where we called, that is from here. Then break is written. Break means the switch will stop. And after switch there is no other statement. So the answer is baba baba. Clear? Understood? Okay. So next bit we have the value of X as capital D. So now it will check capital D equal to capital A, false. Capital D equal to capital C, false. Capital D equal to capital D, true. True means it will call the function by. True means it will call the function by. Where is by? Here is by. So what it will print? It will print by. Okay, it will print by. Clear? Then it will again return back. From where we called from here, so it will return back. And here in this case there is no break. So what happens when there is no break? Fall through. In class 9 chapter 5 we studied about fall through in switch case, right? If break is not present in a particular case, it will automatically move to the next case and execute it till a break statement is executed. This is called a fall through. So here break is not there, means it will automatically enter into the next case, that is case E. And when you enter into the next case, it will call the function BL. It will call the function BL and it will print BL. Okay. Again it will return back to BL. And now break is present, so it will stop the switch. Okay. So understood? The fall through, what will happen? It will automatically enter into the next case. Okay. Till a break is executed. Here break was executed, now it stopped. So to stop a switch, you have to use a break, or else it will continue till end. It will continue till end if no break is present. Okay. Next bit is small f. In the bit 3, we have the value of x as small f. So small f equal to capital A, no. Equal to capital C, no. Equal to capital D, no. Equal to capital E, no. Capital F, no. Small f, yes. Okay. Capital and small are different. Don't go here. We have given small f. Means this is true. So it will call the function Bn. And it will print Bn. Then it will return back. From where it called? It called from here. Break is executed and now the program is over. For the next bit, we have the value capital X. Bit 4, we have the value of X as capital X. Capital X equal to capital A? No. Capital C? No. Capital D? No. Capital E? No. Capital F? Small f? Capital L? No. Everything is no. Capital O? No. Capital P? No. Capital X? Yes. Capital X is equal to capital X. So it will call the function boo. So it will print boo. Clear? Again it will return back. Break is executed. Switch is stopped and the program is over. And the last we have 0. We have taken what? We have taken the value of x as 0. Okay, this is not O, this is 0. Therefore I have written it, I mentioned it. So 0 equal to A, no C, no D, no E, A, F, L, O, P. This is O. I have written, I mentioned it. Okay, this is O, this is not 0. So it will not match. P, X, Z. So neither of the case are matching, means it will automatically move to the default statement. And what it is printing? It is printing total bhool. So here in the 5th bit, we'll get the answer as total bhool. Then break statement is written and the program is over. Here we are not calling any function, we are printing here directly. Understood? Clear? Easy one? Yeah. Now let us run this program. Okay. First we have A, we got Baba. Next we have D, we got B and BL. Why? Because break was not present. Therefore we are getting answer of 2 cases. Okay. Next we have small f. Okay, Bn. Then we have capital X is boo. And the last one, we are giving the value 0. 0 was not present, therefore default was executed and total bhool was present. Understood? So now let us move to the next question. That is question number 6. So initially we have the value of A as 0, character 0. Okay. And you are checking if character 0 is less than character 9. Okay. So when you check like this, it will automatically convert it to integer value, the ASCII value, and then check. So what is the ASCII value of 0? It is 48. What is the ASCII value of 9? It is 57. So we are checking 48 less than 57. Yes, true. And now we are dividing the value of a, that is 0 divided by 2. So can we divide a character value? No, we cannot divide a character value. Therefore, I am doing a typecasting. I am converting into integer form. From character to integer means it will give the ASCII value. What is the ASCII value of 0? It is 48. 48 is the ASCII value, right? So 48 modulo 2. That is 0. Remainder is 0. So it is true. So we'll call the function even. And what it will print? It will print ow. It will print ow. Again it will return back, and now we have increased the value of a by 1. So how to increase the value of a character value? Again, the character will get converted to integer value. That is 0 is 48 plus 1. The value is 49. And again it will be converted back to the character value of 49. That is 1. That is single character 1. Okay. So now we have the value of a as 1. You have to remember this. This conversion of character to integer and integer to character is very, very important in your board exam. Okay. You will get question from this. In short questions, in programming, everywhere. Okay. It is very, very important. So now we have the value of a as 1. So 1 less than 9? Yes, it is less than 9 because 49 and 57. 49 is less than 57. If you check the ASCII value. If you don't remember the ASCII value also, obviously 1 is less than 9. You can remember like this also. So this is fine. And the integer of 1 is 49 modulo 2 equal to 0, false. So this time it will execute the else block, the false block. So it will call the function odd. So this time it will print go. Again a plus plus. Now the value of a is 2. 2 less than 9? Yes. Integer value of 2 is 50 modulo 2 equal to 0. Yes. So it will call the function even. So it will print out. Next time the value of a is 3 and the ASCII value of 3 is 51. So 51 is an odd number. So here actually we are checking if the ASCII is odd or even. If it is even, we are calling the function even. If it is odd, we are calling the function odd. So every time, first time it will be even, second time it will be odd. Next time again even, then odd. Even, then odd. Till, so it will continue till the value of a is 8. Okay, because when it is 9, it will be false. 9 less than 9, it will be false. So it will go from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All the characters. These are all character values. Okay. So 0, it is 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55 and 56. For all the even values, it will print out. For all the odd values, it will print go. So first is 0, it will print out. Then 49, go. 50, out. 51, go. 52, out. 53, go. 54, out. 55, go. 56, out. So it will print ow go how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4. And last again ow. Okay. So it will print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times ow and 1, 2, 3, 4 times go. Understood? So total 9 times it will print ow go alternatively. Okay. So now let us run this program. See ow go, ow go, ow go. Understood? This was because of 0, this was because of 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6, then 7, then 8. In 9, the loop will become false and the program will stop. Okay, understood? So now let us solve the next question. So this question, you might have thought that this is the most difficult question, but actually this is the easiest question here. Okay, this is the easiest question here. Okay, so let us solve. So you have the value of A as 65,535. 65,535. B as 0. Variable R, we have space. Do what? A equal to A by 10. Means you will divide by 10. So what will be the new value of A? It will be 6553. 0.5 will not come because it is integer. B plus plus. The value of B is 1. Call the function call and send the value of A and B. So in Huddy, the value of A will be stored, that is 6553, and in Buddy, the value of B will be stored, that is 1. Okay, clear? Value of A stored in Huddy, value of B stored in Buddy. And we have a variable Mera having space. And we are calculating Mera. Huddy minus 1 means 6553 minus 1. 6553 minus 1, that is 6552. The character of 6552. So, I never told you what is the character of 6552. I told about the ASCII values of alphabets, of digits, space and null. So 6552 is none of this, and it is not in our syllabus also. So do we need to calculate Mera? See what we are printing. We are printing the value of Huddy, we are printing the value of Buddy, but we are printing only Mera. We are not printing the value of Mera. So do we need to even calculate it? So people who do what will waste their time here. These are tricky questions, tricky board questions. Okay, people will do what? They will try to solve this, waste their time, okay, and they will tell that the question paper is lengthy. The question paper is not lengthy, it is tricky. Okay, you need not solve this. Okay, there will be no out of syllabus question. You might be thinking the sir have not taught us these ASCII values and how will you solve it? It is not in the syllabus. Okay, 6552, no one will ask what is the character value of 6000, 5000 or 65,000. Okay, so here it will print value of Huddy, that is 6553. Then it will print Mera. It is in double quotes. Don't print the value of Mera, even you don't know the value of Mera. And Buddy, that is 1. So it will print 6553 Mera 1. Now it will return back and it will check 6553 greater than 0. Yes, do. A equal to A by 10. The new value is 655. The new value of A is 655 and B becomes 2. B equal to B plus 1. B plus plus means B equal to B plus 1. So the value of B will become 2 now. And now it will call and send the value 655 and 2 respectively. So now this time it will print 655 Mera 2. Next time it will check 655 greater than 0. Yes, by 10. New value is 65 and the value of B is 3. So next time it will call and give the value 65 and it will print 65 and 3. Okay, it will call the function call and send the value 65 and 3. Huddy 65, Buddy 3. It will print 65 Mera 3. Now next, 65 greater than 0. Yes, by 10. The new value of A is 6. B plus plus. The new value of B is 4. It will call and send 6 and 4. Huddy will store 6, Buddy will store 4. So it will print 6 Mera 4. It will print 6 Mera 4. Then it will return back. It will check 6 greater than 0. Yes. A equal to A by 10. New value is 0. B value is 5. So now it will call and send the value 0 and 5. So it will print 0 Mera 5. Understood? Next time the value of A is 0. So 0 greater than 0, it is false. And now the program ends. Clear? Understood? So now let us run this program. Okay, 6553 Mera 1, 655 Mera 2, 65 Mera 3, 6 Mera 4 and 0 Mera 5. Clear? Understood? So now let us solve the question number 8. So here we have a for loop where the loop variable is I and it will start from 1 and it will go till 10 with an increment of plus 1. Means the value of I will be 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6, then 7, then 8, then 9 and finally 10. So the loop will work for 10 times. It will work for 10 times. So first the value of I is 1. So when the value of I is 1, we are doing what? We are checking if it is even. So 1 modulo 2 equal to 0? No, because it is odd. Okay. Therefore, we will call the function odo and we will send the value of I, that is 1. So in B, what will be stored? In B, the value of I will be stored, that is 1. And it will print 1 space. It will print 1 space. And it will return what? It will return B by 2. That is 1 by 2. That is 0. Integer. Both are integer. Answer will be integer. It will send 0. So what will be stored in the variable O? The variable O will store 0. The next I becomes 2. So 2 modulo 2 is 0. So it will this time call the function eveno. And it will send the value of I, that is 2. And in A, what will be stored? 2 will be stored. And it will print 2 space. And be careful, here you have written print. So next time it will continue in the same line. And what we are returning? 2 by 2, that is 1. We are returning 1. So what will be stored in the variable E? 1 will be stored. Clear? Next, I value is 3. This time the value of I is 3. So 3 modulo 2 equal to 0 false. So we'll call odo. So it will print 3 space. In the same line, print was there in the previous case, okay? 3 space. And it will send 3 by 2, that is 1. The value of O is 1. The value of O is 1. Next, I plus plus. I value is 4. So this is true, so it will call eveno. So now the value of A is 4. So it will print 4 space and the cursor will remain in the same line. And 4 by 2 is 2, so it will return 2 and the variable E will store 2. Okay. Next, the value of I is 5. 5 means this will be false. False means it will call odo. So it will print 5 space. Print ln, it will come to next line. 5 by 2 is 2. So what will be stored in O? 2 will be stored. Clear? Understood? Now next time the value of I is 6. 6 means this is true. It will call eveno. It will send the value 6. A will store the value 6. And it will print 6 space. 6 by 2 is 3. It will return 3. What will be stored in E? 3 will be stored in E. I plus plus. Now the value of I is 7. 7 modulo 2 equal to 0 false. Means it will call odo. And it will send the value 7. What will be stored in B? 7 will be stored in B. And it will print 7 space println. It will come to next line. 7 by 2 is 3. So what will be stored in O? 3 will be stored. Next, the value of I is 8. 8 modulo 2 is 0. It is true. It will call eveno and send the value 8. What will be stored in A? 8 will be stored in A. What will be printed? 8 space will be printed. And it will remain in the same line because print is present. And next, it will send or it will return the value 8 by 2, that is 4. So what will be stored in E? 4 will be stored. Next time the value of I is 9. 9 means it is false. It will call odo. It will send 9. So it will print 9 space. 9 by 2 is 4. So what will be stored in O? 4 will be stored. It will return back. Now this time the value of I is 10. 10 modulo 2 is 0. Yes, it will call eveno. It will send the value 10. So it will print 10 space. And it will return 5. 10 by 2 is 5. It will return 5. And what will be stored in E? 5 will be stored in E. So E has 5 and O has 4. So now the loop is over, right? I becomes 11. It is false. It will come here. It will print the value of E. E is 5. Then space. And then the value of O, that is 4. So this is your final answer. So it was a big output question. Okay, so you had to be very patient in solving this. Okay, you had to be very patient in solving this, then only you will get it correct. Okay, so answer is 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5, 4, space in between. Okay, so now let us run this program. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5 and 4. Clear? Understood? So now we will solve the last question. So here we have a for loop and the loop variable is I and start from 0 till 9 and increases by 1. So I value start from 0, then plus 1, then plus 1. It will go till 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Now the value of I is 0. So when the value of I is 0, it will call the function first and send the value of I, that is 0. So what will be stored in X? 0 will be stored in X. It will print 0. 0 by 2 is 0. So what it will return? It will return 0 only. So what will be stored in K? 0 will be stored in K. And then the second loop, the J loop will start. This is a nested situation, okay? Loop inside loop. So J will run from 0 to, what is the value of K? 0. Means it will run only single time. So now it will call the function second and send the value of J and K. Both the value of J and K is 0. So what will be stored in Y and Z? 0 and 0. So what it will print? The sum of Y and Z, that is 0 only. So it will print 0. Again it will return back. The loop will end because J will become 1 and 1 less than equal to 0, it is false. So it will come out of the loop and execute this print statement. So it will print space, then it will come to next line. Then the value of I will become 1 now. So now it will call the function first and send the value 1. So what will be stored in X? 1 will be stored in X. What it will print? It will print 1. 1 by 2 is 0. What it will return? It will return 0. So in K, again 0 will be stored. Now the loop starts from 0 to again 0 only. Means it will work one time. It will call the function second and send the value. Again J value is 0, K value is 0. So Y will store 0, Z will store 0. What will get printed? 0 plus 0, that is 0. The loop ends and it will print a space and then println. Next, I value will become 2. So it will call the function first and send the value 2. So what will be stored in X now? 2 will be stored in X now. What will it will print? It will print 2. 2 by 2 is 1. What it will return? It will return 1. So what will be stored in the variable K? 1 will be stored in variable K. So now the loop will work from 0 to 1. The J loop will work for 2 times. So first the J value is 0. So it will send 0 and what is the value of K? Value of K is 1. So it will send 0 and 1. So in Y 0 will be stored, in Z 1 will be stored. It will print 0 plus 1, that is 1. Again it will return back. And now the value of J is 1. So this time it will send 1 and 1. So Y will store 1 and Z will store 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. So it will print 2. Again J value will become 2. So this will become false. It will come out of the loop and print this print statement. So it will print space and it will come to next line. Now the value of I is 3. It will call the function first and send the value 3. So what will be stored in X? 3 will be stored in X. It will print 3. 3 by 2 is 1. So what it will return? It will return 1. So in K 1 will be stored. So again J will work for 2 times, that is 0 and 1. So it will print what? First it will send 0 and 1. Means it will print 1. And then it will send 1 and 1. So it will print 2. The next time the value of I will become 4. So it will call the function first. The X will be now 4. It will print 4. 4 by 2 is 2. It will return 2. So now the value of k will be 2. So J loop will work from 0 to 2. Means the loop will work for 3 times. So first it will send 0 and 2. So what will be printed? 0 plus 2 is 2. Next time it will send 1 and 2. 1 plus 2 is 3. And third it will send 2 and 2. So 2 plus 2 means 4. Understood? So like this it will continue till the value of I is 9. When the value of I will become 10, the program will stop. Understood? So now we'll check the answer. You got the answer? We solved till this. If you continue solving, you will get this answer. Okay, it was a big question. If you continue solving, you have to continue like that only. Okay, if you continue solving, increase the value by I and continue solving, you will get the rest of the part. I have solved till this, and rest of the part you have to solve like that only in that sequence, and you will get the rest of the answer. Understood? Correct? So this completes all the output question. So from next video, we'll start chapter number 10. Till then, have a nice day. Thank you.